anyone sign up ahead of the meeting to address the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee. Is anybody that's out there in the gallery present today seeking to be recognized for public comment to the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee? All right, I'm not seeing anybody in the gallery that seeks to be recognized, so we will close our public comment period. And members, I have every item on our agenda on a proposed consent agenda. I see Councilmember Evan Siegel is nodding. Does anybody have anything they'd like to remove from the agenda for discussion, questions, comments, concerns, anything like that? All right, seeing none. So I'm going to jump into reading the captions of our consent agenda items. So committee item 1 is RS 2025-1317 by Evans, Gamble, and Parker. This is a resolution authorizing the Metropolitan Government in Nashville and Davidson County to accept new public water and sanitary sewer force mains, fire hydrant assemblies, and sanitary sewer manholes for property located at Earhart Road Unnumbered, also known as Earhart Subdivision Phase 1, an offset of the project location at the southwest corner of New John Hager Road and Earhart Drive. Next, on second reading, we have committee item 2. This is BL 2025-850 by Gamble and Parker. This is an ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County to acquire permanent and temporary easements through negotiation, condemnation, and acceptance for the Valley View Road Stormwater Improvement Project for property located at 5630 Valley View Road. Committee item 3 by, this is BL 2025-851 by Gamble and Parker, an ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County to acquire permanent easements through negotiation, condemnation, and acceptance for the Conair Drive Stormwater Improvement Project for 6 properties located on Conair Drive and McPhee Drive. Committee item 4, this is BL 2025-852 by Gamble and Parker, an ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government in Nashville and Davidson County to accept new public sanitary sewer mains, sanitary sewer manholes, and easements for 2 properties located at 278 and 280 Haywood Lane. Next, we have committee item 5. This is BL 2025-853 by Toombs, Gamble, and Parker, an ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County to accept new public water and sanitary sewer mains, fire hydrant assemblies, sanitary sewer manholes, and easements for property located at 11 Lucille Street, also known as City Vista Phase 2. Next is committee item 6. This is BL 2025-854 by Gamble and Parker. This is an ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County to accept new public sanitary sewer force main and associated easements for 11 properties located on Rio Vista Drive, also known as Rio Vista Drive Sewer Extension. Next, committee item 7. This is BL 2025-855 by Johnston, Gamble, and Parker, an ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County to accept new public sanitary sewer mains, sanitary sewer manholes, and associated easements for property located at 300 Vale Manor, also known as Brentwood Chase 2. Next, committee item 8. This is BL 2025-856 by Toombs, Gamble, and Parker, an ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County to accept new public water and sanitary sewer mains, fire hydrant assemblies, sanitary sewer manholes, and easements for property located at 3051 Stokers Lane, also known as Stokers Village Phase 2. Next, committee item 9. This is BL 2025-857 by Coupin, Gamble, and Parker. This is an ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County to abandon existing public sanitary sewer main and easement for property located at 301 6th Avenue North, also known as Legislative Plaza Renovations. Committee item 10. This is BL 2025-858 by Toombs, Gamble, and Parker. This is an ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County to accept new public water and sanitary sewer mains, sanitary sewer manholes, and easements for property located at 2126 Belfield Avenue, also known as Belfield Townhomes. Lastly, we have committee item 11. This is BL 2025-859 by Gamble and Parker. This is an ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County to accept new public water main, fire hydrant assemblies, and easements for 2 properties located at 1300 and 1310 Donaldson Pike, also known as Donaldson Pike Industrial West. All right, having heard the 11 items on our proposed consent agenda, do any members wish to remove an item for question, comment, discussion, any other reason? All right, I'm seeing none. Could we get a motion and a second on the consent agenda, please? All right, properly moved and seconded. Thank you. Any discussion on the proposed consent agenda? All right, seeing none, we'll go to a vote. All those in favor of the proposed consent agenda, please say aye. Any opposed? Any not voting? I've still got 7. All right, recommend approval of the proposed consent agenda at 7 in favor, 0 against, and 0 not voting. All right, and that concludes our regular agenda. Briefly for chair report, if you go back and watch our last Traffic and Parking Commission meeting, there was a lot of really good discussion there. Councilmember Coupin came out and spoke, who there was a very unfortunate loss of a pedestrian life in District 19 recently. Councilmember spoke to that, and the commission had some really good discussion about kind of the process of making safety improvements and identifying these most problematic areas throughout the county. And out of that discussion was a kind of a request to have a kind of a joint meeting of some of the different committees and commissions that work in this space. So this committee, the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee of the Metro Council, we are often focused on specific legislative items. We don't have a lot of defined space to have broader discussions. We do now have the Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Committee or Commission. We have the Vision Zero Action Commission, and we have our friends at the Traffic and Parking Commission. Our representative currently on that body is Councilmember Evan Siegel. And in that discussion, they brought up the idea of having kind of a joint meeting of those different entities along with NDOT to kind of discuss some of these issues that many of us are confronting in our district. So there's not a time, date yet set for that. I'm anticipating late July or August would be what would be reasonable to pull all those different bodies together. We're hoping to have that meeting here in this chamber. So please look out for information about that. Councilmember Evan Siegel started a Council Connect topic about specific kind of hotspots that you might be dealing with in your area or that you've heard feedback from constituents about with specific safety concerns. So please check out that thread on Council Connect and share information there, or come to that meeting when it's scheduled. I'm ready to talk about those. Does anybody have any other notes? Councilmember Evan Siegel, do you have anything to add from the discussion at the commission meeting? You're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. To add to coming to the meeting ready to discuss hotspots, if folks are able to submit those in Council Connect or send to Ms. Darby before to pass along, that'd be really helpful, because we're just trying to kind of gather not just the hotspots that we all know about, the places where we think something inexpensive like a 4-way stop or additional paint or something like that could be helpful. But areas that we know are unsafe, we all kind of know where they are, even if somebody hasn't been killed in them yet. And I would prefer to know about them before somebody dies than after. We're also working with libraries and parks and greenways to try and find additional hotspots. So if anybody knows of those, feel free to pass them along as well.
Thank you. And that's a very good point. It's going to be more effective to kind of get those into the list that we're keeping for discussion. The point of the meeting I view more as to kind of convene these different bodies that are working in this space. It's not so much to show up as a district council member and say, I've got a really terrible intersection here, and I'm going to try to make the case here at this meeting. I think it's more to try to figure out how the BPAC and Vision Zero and Traffic and Parking and this committee can better work with NDOT to kind of get some of these things addressed much quicker than what we're seeing today. That's the goal. So please look out for that information. It'll be emailed to the full body as well as the committee members. So that's all I've got. Anything else from committee members related to the committee? All right, I will call this meeting adjourned. Thank you all.